I make these videos for myself because I have no one to talk to because I'm in Mexico and I'm surrounded by Spanish speakers. I'm not complaining, I'm just stating the facts. That's just what I do. But this video, I want to try to introduce you to missionary Vaquero, maskless refugee, because you don't know me. You have no idea. You see, back in 2020, I refused to wear a mask. Not once, not twice, not three, not four, not five, 1,000 billion trillion times. I was given the choice. Wear a mask, take a vaccine, take a vaccine. And I simply refused. Every single time. And whatever the consequences were, well, that's what the consequences are. There are very few people that can relate to what I'm saying. There are very few people that understand what I'm saying. And I will give you a for instance. One time in 2020, well, no, this was not 2020, this was 2021. I had gone to Mississippi and I had left my mother's house and I went to Walmart. And I could not enter into Walmart. There was a lady there and they had it all flagged off, cordoned off, and she said, where is your mask? I said, I'm not sick, I don't need a mask. And she said, well, you can't go into Walmart without a mask, and I'm going to take your temperature. So put on this mask. I said, no, I'm good. And I turned around and went back to my van and I left without buying and selling. It's the forerunner to Revelation 13b system, but people don't have spiritual eyes. They can't see. They don't have spiritual discernment. They don't have spiritual ears. They failed to see the signs of the times. Even now, 6 years later, can you see Revelation chapter 6 verse 2, white horse conquering the entire world through fear? Most people are looking for an antichrist. But that's not the word bow in Revelation chapter 6 verse 2. What is the Greek word? Toxon, T-O-X-O-N. We get our English word toxin, T-O-X-I-N. Toxon comes from the meaning of the simplest fabric. That has absolutely nothing to do with a bow and an arrow. Nothing. It comes from the root word tikto, from the seed of a woman giving birth. DNA. What is the simplest fabric of life? It's so plain to me, but who am I? Nobody. What am I? Nothing. But the understanding was given to me by Creator on my wilderness journey in 2020. I had walked off my job July 22nd, 2020. I refused to wear a mask. I refused to take a vaccine, and my life ended right then and there. I cut my own throat. Can you relate at all to what I'm saying? To what I have done over 6 years ago? I don't know. But I went to Cheyenne, Wyoming. I didn't know why. I didn't know. I was on a wilderness journey. In other words, God would lead me no different than the children of Israel. As they were led by a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, I simply only had His voice. Where am I going and what am I doing? I don't know. This is not my plan. This is not me. I'm simply following him. And he led me crisscrossing through America, from Florida to Alabama to Mississippi to Tennessee to northwest. And I zigzagged all the way up to Cheyenne, Wyoming. And when I got there, I had wanted to get a chronological Bible. And I called the bookstore and they had one copy. I said, okay, that's mine. And so I began a chronological study starting in Acts, because I knew where we are headed. We are headed to Revelation 13. But I did not know where we were. I did not know how to live, how to proceed. I didn't know anything. And so the only thing that I could think of is go back 2,000 years ago and figure out how the New Testament survived their tribulation. Because however they survived is however I was going to survive. So I began in Acts. And my Bible is written chronologically. So it's not Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. That's not how my Bible is written. My Bible is written, there's a little bit of Matthew, there's a little bit of Mark, then it'll go to Luke, then John, then Mark, then Luke, then Matthew, then John, then Mark. It just goes round and round through the Gospels because it's written in parallel. So it's all chronology. And then it goes to Acts. And then it goes to the first written chronologically book of the New Testament. So it doesn't go Acts, Romans. I think it goes Acts, Galatians, but I can't remember exactly right this moment. I could go look. Hold on. Okay, here is my Bible. Okay, so this is Acts. Okay. So Acts chapter 15, verse 35. Okay, Acts chapter 15, verse 35. And then it goes to Galatians. You see, it's not written in normal. And this is important, okay? I built a foundation upon the Bible as it was written, as it was revealed to them. Because, see, 2,000 years later, we've got this notion of a pre-tribulation rapture. We've got this prosperity gospel. We've got this whole thing wrong. It's upside down. Everything that we do today is wrong. We're living in Laodicea. We have angels of light that tickle our ears, and we're deceived. And on top of all of that, God Himself, Father, sends strong delusion that they would believe the lie. What is the lie? That creation worships creation. That creation neglects Creator. And look at society today. It's all about me. It's all about I. It's all about us. It's all about we. And it's nothing about God. So when you go chronologically and you build a foundation, you're starting from scratch. You're not having preconceived ideas, preconceived notions, preconceived thoughts. You're starting with a blank canvas. It's the best way. It's the only way. Because we only want what God says. We don't want man's thoughts, man's ideas, because they are contrary to God. His ways are not ours. His thoughts are not ours. His ways and thoughts are higher than ours. So the only way is to be spiritual. So that's exactly what I did. I built a foundation. And how important Galatians is. The book of Galatians is the very first New Testament book after Acts. And it gives us the mystery of Paul. This is so simple. You know, the simplicity of the gospel of Jesus Christ and Him crucified. We must be like babes. We must be like children. But everything is confused and distorted. And so the church today teaches that the mystery of Paul was a rapture. No, the mystery of Paul is salvation. Is not of works, but is of faith, because he goes to the Gentiles. It's the basic simplicity of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Go back and look at Messiah and his words. He is constantly pulling people, stretching people, bending people out of their box, out of the prison of their mind, out of their religion. And he's bringing them into a relationship with Father God. Anyway, you wouldn't understand, you wouldn't know, you can't relate because you didn't walk in my shoes. And for 6 years I have been walking with Creator.